大家好. That means howdy y'all in Chinese. My name is Sohan, and we are here with another episode of Gong Fu Cha at Guanyin Tea House in Austin, Texas. Today we're going to talk about smell. Smell is one of the most important aspects of tea. I would say that the smell of tea is easily as important as the taste of tea, and tea has a lot to smell about. So there's the classic ways of smelling tea. When we think of smelling tea, we think of smelling the leaves themselves, either cold and dry, like in a tin, or warm and wet in a gaiwan or a teapot after they've been rinsed, and that's definitely an important smell of tea. And then there's the smell of the liquid tea, when you have a cup of tea in your hand and you smell the liquid itself. But there is also a whole panoply of other smells that arise when ceramic and glass materials get cold and dry. Things that have had tea in them start to dry out. You get what's called the wénxiāng or the wénxiāng, which means the cold fragrance or the cup fragrance. And we can observe that quickly and easily on the lid of the gaiwan. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a steeping of tea, and we're gonna look at one by one all the places where we can find this very elusive and exquisite fragrance. And why does it get its own episode? Because it's different. The smell of the lid of the gaiwan is going to be different than the smell of the leaves that are in that gaiwan. And in addition to that, the smell will evolve and change as the clay cools. And what's happening essentially is that the fragrant oils that make up the aroma of tea are not necessarily water soluble, and so they float on the surface of the liquid. And then when I pour that liquid out, and that material, that clay or that glass, is now dry, then those oils form a film on the surface of that glass or that clay. And as they start to evaporate, they're volatile and they start to evaporate, and one or the other of these chemicals will exhaust itself. And so, for example, I smell the lid of the gaiwan. It already smells different than the leaves, but if I wave it around a little bit and let it cool off more of those vapors, more of those aromas evaporate, and I get a different smell. You're just gonna have to take my word for it, unless you want to follow along. We're drinking Behind the Ditch Phoenix Oolong. It's an exceptionally fragrant tea, and it has a lot of this after fragrance, this wénxiāng. So smell your gaiwan lid, smell it again, let it cool. And then we can do the same thing with the Gong Fu. And what we're gonna get out of the Gong Fu is gonna be ever so slightly different, because it's deeper, and you've got more oils on the sides, and it's just gonna be a little bit different experience. And we smell the empty Gong Fu, and it's just blast of floral, sweet fragrances. And then we wave it, and it gets a little bit sweeter and a little bit sweeter. And then the last place that we typically taste this is on the bottom of our cup. So we drink our tea. And then we wave around our cup. And then we can smell our empty cup. Yeah. And it's, again, a little bit different than what I got on the gaiwan lid, a little bit different than what I got on the Gong Fu. And so that wénxiāng or wénxiāng is going to be different depending on how you get it. And there is even a specialized cup just for observing, experiencing, and smelling this elusive and exquisite fragrance that changes as the vessel cools, and that is called the wénxiāng. These are from Taiwan. Well, this one's made here in Texas by Friendly Fire Glass. Oh, and this is made by Whiskey and Clay, also Texas-based pottery. But the wénxiāng is a tall, cylindrical cup that is roughly equivalent in volume to the tasting cups, which are the cups that we usually are used to using. And its purpose is not to drink out of. We don't drink out of the smelling cups, we just smell them. And so we do it like this. I would demonstrate by making another pot of tea. And we will get to use the smelling cup. The smelling cup is originally from Taiwan. The Taiwanese are very, very classy people, and they take their tea very seriously. And so they developed this specialized vessel so that you don't have to wait for the gaiwan or the Gong Fu to get passed around. You don't have to wait till you finish your tea either. Using this wénxiāng, you can smell that after fragrance before you drink the tea, and that's the primary purpose of it, is to give every drinker the opportunity to smell that second fragrance and experience the whole range of what it does before they actually drink their tea. And we accomplish that like so. I'm gonna center this here. So I've got my smelling cup, I'm gonna fill it with tea. All the way up. Bloop. There we go. And then we're gonna take our tasting cup and we're gonna invert it and put it right over the top of the smelling cup, just like a little mushroom. And then we're gonna take this whole thing, grip it like so. I like to have my thumb and forefinger on the smelling cup and my ring finger and middle finger on the tasting cup, and turn the whole thing over. And if you do it right, not a drop will spill. And the tea will remain in a little column in the smelling cup. You see there's no tea down in the tasting cup itself until I take the smelling cup and remove it like so, blip, 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 just like that. And then I can take my smelling cup. Before I drink the tea, take my warm smelling cup, wave it around, roll it between my hands, cool it off a little bit, and then, yeah, very classy, very classy. And then, after having prepared my palate by smelling that second fragrance, I can taste the tea and have an even richer tea drinking experience. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been Gong Fu Cha. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more great tea education. Thank you.